Warm greetings of the high 10. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Thanks for joining me. Hope y'all are having a blessed day. It's kind of gloomy here in the high 10, rainy. Thank you all so much for joining me. I'll let you guys follow in here. This will be a 4-part compilation video pertaining to the said information. Hello. Thank you all so much for joining me. I got my few in, 12 viewing. As I stated, this is a 4-part compilation video. This video will be pertaining to Desheena Kyle, who was found dead a week ago. Her aunt Rita has information she'd like to relate to the public pertaining to the police's involvement in the disappearance and now the death of her niece, Miya Mercado. Body has been confirmed dead. Cassie Laundrie has given an interview with ABC News. I will play the audio from that. And there's now a new sighting of Mr. Laundrie in my backyard. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you. I'm almost at 9,000 subscribers. I want to thank you all for joining me. Early this morning after I went live, I played information from random people who were asking questions to Miss Cassie, and I played that commentary. I didn't want to discuss it that late because I was tired, and I really didn't want to discuss the subject matter anyway because I think it's redundant at this point. But I bring you the information anyway, even though I really don't care to talk about the subject matter at this point. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start my commentary pertaining to Desheena Kyle. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thanks for joining me. My first information will be pertaining to Desheena Kyle. As most of you know that follow the content on this network, she was found, a body was found at a house belonging to the suspect's boyfriend, on again, off again boyfriend, one of his relatives' homes, an abandoned house. Her body was found there. And I'm going to bring you commentary pertaining to Miss Rita, who is the aunt, somebody that I do know personally. She has information she wants to bring to the public pertaining to her niece. And I'm going to bring you that said information. My phone's acting up. Hello, Elisa. How you doing? No, there's some other people commenting, baby. I don't know. Looks like the internet is still messed up. I don't know. Thank you for joining me. Later on, I will be bringing you another live. And that live will be pertaining to the buffoonery, donfoolery of Hollerville, the latest shenanigans going on with the Summer Wells case. I will be bringing you a live. So this date will have 2 lives today. Thank you. The insider is the source. Aunt of Desheena Kyle, the missing Tennessee woman found dead, says a lack of communication from police made her doubt the case was investigated properly. Desheena Kyle's family says Knoxville, Tennessee police didn't communicate with them after they reported the 26-year-old missing in June. Kyle's aunt, Rita Thomas, told Insider the lack of communication eroded the family's trust that her disappearance was being properly investigated. Police confirmed Thursday that they recovered Kyle's body. No charges have been filed in connection with her death. The family of Desheena Kyle, a 26-year-old Tennessee woman who went missing in June, joined with community members to search the Knoxville area for weeks before police recovered a body on September 28. Kyle's loved ones felt there had been a lack of communication from Knoxville police, and it was a huge factor in how they perceived the investigation into her disappearance. Kyle's aunt, Rita Thomas, told Insider in a series of text messages, "I see an urgent need to have someone within the department that will meet with families so they can share vital information about their loved ones," Thomas said. Thomas shouted out one police captain who she said improved the line of communication between the department and her family. She said that while she understands officers are in a tough situation when providing information about a missing person's case, caring families shouldn't be pushed so far away from the case that it causes distrust. A spokesman for the Knoxville Police Department said in a statement to Insider that police made a concerted effort to be in vigorous communication with Kyle's family. He added that specific officers were designated to be in contact with her loved ones and that any information police withheld about the investigation was to preserve its integrity. "We certainly empathize with the immense pain, grief, and confusion the family has experienced the past several months. So we recognize that no amount of communication would feel like enough," spokesman Scott Erlin said in a statement. Members of the Knoxville community had also voiced their frustration with the way police have handled Kyle's case. An activist who helped organize searches for Kyle previously told Insider that it felt like police interest in the case picked up only after community members began searching for the missing woman on their own, once the Gabby Petito case had gained widespread national attention. Kyle was the first reported missing by her grandmother on June 28, after no one in the family had seen her for at least 10 days. On September 23rd, police began investigating the case as a potential homicide based on Kyle's prolonged period of no contact with family or friends, along with other evidence. That same day, police named Kyle's boyfriend, John Bassett, a person of interest in her disappearance. Bassett had been arrested in July for a probation violation, and police have since held him in custody on unrelated gun and drug charges. On September 28, police found Kyle's body reportedly at an abandoned home owned by one of Bassett's family members. While Kyle's death had been ruled a homicide, no charges have been filed. According to police records viewed by the Insider, Bassett was charged with domestic assault against Kyle in 2014. A judge later dismissed that charge. Thomas urged people who think they may be in an abusive relationship and in danger to seek help from a friend or go to law enforcement. "Love is not supposed to hurt," Thomas said. "It is kind, gentle, and compassionate." Read this original article in the Insider. The Insider is the source. Prayers once again to the Kyle family. I do not know the interaction between the police and this family. I do know that one comment that was made by the official that they can't tell you everything as to preserve the case. This is true. People get frustrated when they don't hear anything from the police, the FBI, but there's a reason why they can't tell you anything. It's not that they don't know anything. We assume they don't because we don't hear anything. That's not true. And you can't say either way. Because as they said, as it was said in this article, we couldn't tell you anything because we had to preserve the case. And as you see, that would happen in any case of a missing person and or deceased person. The Insider is the source for this information. Thank you so much for joining me. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. Thank you so much. Thank you for the mods on deck. Amen. I'm going to bring you more information. I have a lot to bring you, as usual. It's never a dull moment. Hello, everybody. Hello, Black Beauty. Thank you so much for joining me, honey. All right. Update number 1 is pertaining to Desheena Kyle. The next information is pertaining to a beautiful young lady that was found dead in Florida. I'm bringing you that said update. This is by CNN News if you need verification. Medical examiner confirms body found in wooded area in Orlando is Miya Mercado. The Orange County Medical Examiner confirmed Tuesday that the body found in a wooded area near the timber scan on the Lake Apartment Complex in Orlando on Saturday is, in fact, 19-year-old Miya Mercado. A positive identification of a family of a female whose body was recovered in a wooded area on October 2nd, 2021, has been identified as Miya Mercado. Orange and Osceola County's Chief Medical Examiner, Dr. Joshua Stephanie, said in a statement Tuesday. This case is currently under active law enforcement investigation, and any further requests for information, including cause and manner of death, will be deferred to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. The Orange County Sheriff's Office said Saturday believed the body was Mercado, but deferred official identification to the medical examiner's office. Mercado went missing on September 24th. Moving too fast. Mercado had been missing since September 24th, when she was last seen at the Arden Villas of luxury apartments in Orlando, where she lived and worked, according to the sheriff's office. Members of the Orange County Sheriff's Emergency Response Team found the body around 10:45 a.m. Saturday, Sheriff John Miya said, while searching a wooded area near the timber scan on the Lake Apartments, approximately 18 miles west of her home. A purse with her identification was located near the body. Cell phone records indicated Armando Manuel Caballero, a person of interest in the case, who was found dead of an apparent suicide September 27th, and put together, that's 3 days after she was found, or went missing, was in or near the apartments for about 20 minutes between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. the evening Mercado was reported missing, according to the sheriff. So it says here, we'll repeat. He was found dead of an apparent suicide on the 27th and was in or near, phone records show, around the apartments for about 20 minutes between 8 and 9 p.m. the evening Mercado was reported missing. So we're going to backtrack one more time, just in case for those can't keep up. She went missing on the 24th. They have records to show this man was in or around her apartment and was there for 20 minutes, 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. Miya said authorities were not looking for any other people, adding that investigators believe Caballero was responsible for this crime. Caballero used to live at the Timber Scan Apartments, Miya said Saturday. So imagine, he's a maintenance man at the place where she was residing. They have phone records to show he was in or around that apartment. She went missing on the 24th. He's found dead of self-inflicted gunshot wound on a Monday, which is days after the 24th. And the apartments where he resides is where she was found dead. This Timber Scan Apartments. Her body was discarded there. So what we're saying, I will finish. Mercado was last seen around 5 p.m. Friday, September 24th, according to the sheriff's office. She was scheduled for a flight that evening, but never made it on the plane. Interesting. Didn't hear that. Authorities believe Caballero, maintenance worker at the Arden Villas Apartments, had accessed Mercado's apartment without her permission, Miya previously said. An arrest warrant had been issued for Caballero for burglary. During the initial investigation, Caballero told detectives he had last seen Mercado at about 3 p.m. that day while working, according to Miya. Caballero had shown a romantic interest in Mercado, Miya said, but was repeatedly rebuffed. CNN is the news. So this is where it gets grainy. How did he get a hold of her? Because now we're getting information of her, she supposed to board a flight on that Friday, the 24th. She was last seen at 5 p.m. Mr. Caballero did speak with authorities. And he last saw her at 3. So did he mean 3 o'clock that same day on Friday that he saw her allegedly? She's last seen at 5 p.m. So where was she last seen 5 p.m.? At the property, at a store? Where? He did have keys to the place, of course, because he would have a master key to enter people's apartments because he's a maintenance man. So did he indeed go in that apartment, subdue her or kill her there, assault her there, and then carried her body out? Because what's strange to me is that her body is now found at the location where he lives and her purse was with her. Very, very interesting information. CNN is the source if you need verification for the information I just brought you. Thank you so much. Now on to my next update. Okay. Lord have mercy. The next information is pertaining to Miss Cassie Laundrie. Many of you heard the interrogation of the protesters outside her house with her husband. Basically, she was letting them know, you've been disturbing the peace, my neighbors, you've scared my children. and they had to find out about my brother being on the run for this and that by you hollering and screaming, yelling out obscenities. I did not care for that interaction. It's like I said, if you have a heart and you're concerned about somebody, that's a good thing. But you can't go to people's property raising hell and sand thinking it's not going to disturb other people. You may feel like you're in the right, but an outsider really doesn't have any business yelling and hollering and screaming because you just don't need to be doing that. And I get it. You're upset. But interrogating this woman, I was offended just listening, whether she's guilty or not, whether she knows something or not. Just imagine random people walking up to random people, asking them about personal things. Just imagine if every day this happened to everybody. You're friends with somebody, something jumps off something they did. Now you're being bombarded by strangers on the street or at your house about something Pookie, Ray, Bubba did. And you may not know anything, but now they're outside your house, raising hell, ringing the doorbell, leaving notes, doing all type of crazy stuff, all because you know this person. This is how people get hurt. This is how people get hurt. This is how people end up in jail. This is how people end up in the cemetery. That's why one neighbor was fighting somebody else because of this very situation. Only people I can see asking the Laundries anything is the Petito family. Nobody needs to be contacting Cassie, her husband, the parents directly unless they are the Petitos themselves. And that's how I feel about this situation. You're not the parents. You don't have any reason to be contacting anybody related to the Laundries because only the Laundries should be explaining themselves to the Petito family. Random people running up, banging on doors, hollering, screaming. It's ridiculous because in the end, you're disturbing other people. And somehow these people don't see that. These other people didn't sign up for that. They may not know the Laundries well, Cassie well, and now you're disturbing them because you want answers from these people. And as I've said before, you're not going to get what you want because they haven't given you what you wanted day one. The Laundries didn't speak to the police. Mr. Brian didn't speak to the police. So why do you think you're a random person going to get answers from people who wouldn't even talk to the police themselves about Brian, interaction with her, coming back? He didn't speak to the police when he got back. He didn't report that girl missing even out there in Wyoming. But yet you think you stand outside hollering and screaming bullhorns, leaving baskets and all this type of crazy foolishness is going to get these people to talk. Well, guess what? It didn't work. See, that's the whole point of the story. You're dealing with a whole different mindset. And frankly, you're disturbing the peace. It's just the way it goes. Like I said, everyone's concerned. A lot of us are genuinely concerned. But right now, I'm at a point where I'm sick of the Captain Save-A-Ho syndrome. Everybody want to run around here acting like they're, want to save the day, want to be seen, want to be heard. I can't even really think a person is genuinely concerned about Gabby Petito when you're out there raising hell. That's just my personal opinion. And I get it. Some of you may think that you're actually being genuine, but it's how it looks. Just like how it looks that they're not talking. Some of us may not think you're genuine after raising hell. Because we know that if this was you, you would want people outside your apartment door, condo, your neighborhood, blocking the driveway, blocking, hooping and hollering, cussing and fussing. Because somebody that you know well is allegedly accused of murder, stole some money off a card. Now they're at your house saying, well, that's your friend. That's your brother. That's your sister. You know them. You know something. You know something. You would feel some type of way because you'd be like, well, just because that's my friend, my sister, my cousin, it doesn't mean I know anything. So you're entitled to your opinion about what you think the Laundries know, don't know. If Cassie knows anything, I don't know what she knows. I don't know what she knows. I don't know what the parents told her, didn't tell her. But I know all this is getting out of control, and this is how people get hurt. And that's all I have to say about that situation. I will bring my commentary after I play all the information pertaining to the Laundries. What I'm about to play to you is the audio from the ABC video. You can go into YouTube to watch the full interview by ABC News. I'll then also bring you information pertaining to Brian Laundrie. There are new sightings of him right here in Tennessee or the Tennessee area. And I will bring you that said information. I will then drop my commentary to you. And then I will also drop the link for you to come up on the panel to give your opinion of the information that I've brought to you in this said live. Are there any questions? Thank you so much for following the Queen. Almost 9,000 subscribers. Amen. God is good.
Laundrie's sister, who's speaking out as police hunt for her brother. And this morning, a new message from Gabby Petito's family as well. ABC Victor Okendo is in Miami Beach, Florida with the very latest. Good morning, Victor.
Good morning, Michael. We have learned so much more about this case in the week since we last heard from Cassie Laundrie. It turns out she was also on that family camping trip that Brian took with his parents after he returned home without Gabby Petito. Cassie insists she still doesn't know where her brother is.
No, I do not know where Brian is. I'd turn him in.
Overnight, Cassie Laundrie attempting to set the record straight, speaking out for the first time since Gabby Petito's body was found and her brother Brian was reported missing. Later named a person of interest in Petito's murder and wanted by the FBI in a fraud investigation.
I really wish he had come to me first that day with the van, because I don't think we'd be here. I worry about him. I hope he's okay, and then I'm angry and I don't know what to think. I would tell my brother to just come forward and get us out of this horrible mess.
And now detailing the last time she saw her brother.
The last time I physically saw it and the last time I physically spoke to my brother was on the 6th. I've tried to get in touch with him, phone went to voicemail.
Cassie sharing this photo exclusively with ABC News, showing Brian and his 5-year-old nephew camping at Fort DeSoto Park with their parents 5 days before Gabby was reported missing.
We just went for a couple of hours and we ate dinner and had s'mores around the campfire and left. And there was nothing peculiar about it. There was no feeling of grand goodbye. There was nothing. I'm frustrated that in hindsight, I didn't pick up on anything. It was just a regular visit.
By the time Gabby was found, 13 days later, Brian had already vanished. The day Cassie learned of his disappearance, she says she immediately told investigators about that camping trip.
It was not hidden from law enforcement. I've been cooperating with the police since day one. I've been in touch with law enforcement.
And now she's calling on her parents to do the same.
Justice for Gabby would look like having someone come forward and tell the truth. I don't know if my parents are involved. I think if they are, then they should come clean.
Cassie says her brother has taken multiple trips for up to 5 days at a time on the Appalachian Trail, where multiple tips have been reported. And over the weekend, a possible sighting was reported to investigators along the nearly 2,200-mile trail near the Tennessee-North Carolina border.
I wasn't sure about what he looked like. And then I went and parked and pulled up the photographs of him. And I'm 99.99% sure that was him.
Police have said they're factoring in Brian's reported skills living off the grid in their search for him, but Cassie says it's unusual for him to be gone for this long.
I'd say Brian's a mediocre survivalist. It wouldn't surprise me if he could last out there a very long time. But also, I don't think anything would surprise me at this point. If the FBI finds him in Timbuktu, I'd be like, all right, well, that's where he was. I've got nothing. I hope my brother is alive because I want answers just as much as everybody else.
Is there something on your cheek here? Looks like, did you get hit in the face?
Well, to be honest, I definitely hit him first.
Did he hit you though? I mean, it's okay if you're saying you hit him, and then I understand if he hit you, but we want to know the truth if he actually hit you.
Well, he grabbed me with his nail.
She says the body cam video from the Moab, Utah police encounter is hard to watch.
It's definitely painful to see everybody just be upset. It was pretty typical of them to argue and try and take space from each other. But people saying that they saw public domestic violence, I've never seen anything like that from either of them.
Now she wonders if more could have been done.
I definitely feel like if they had all of the 911 calls from the multiple people they said, that I think that it would have gone a lot differently and we'd be in a different situation.
Cassie says she's as concerned as she is for her brother. She is mourning for Gabby and wants her family to know her heart is with them.
I've been cooperating so that everyone gets answers. They deserve answers.
Gabby's parents sending a message to Brian on the Dr. Phil show.
If you truly loved her, you should turn yourself in.
The Laundrie family attorney released a statement saying in part that Brian's parents don't know where he is, and the speculation by the public and some in the press that the parents assisted Brian in leaving the family home or in avoiding arrest is just wrong. Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos.
All right. That's ABC News. It's in the YouTube queue if you want to go back and rehash what was said by Miss Cassie I'm going to recap everything that I can remember and wrote down pertaining to what she said in the interview. But I'm now going to bring you information about a sighting here in my backyard pertaining to Mr. Laundrie. And then I will drop my commentary and the panel will commence. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. 1 minute, please. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's nuts. It's nutty. It's nuts because the people involved are nutty. That's usually what happens. Okay, let's see how much more I've got to bring to you guys. Oh, Lordy, come on, don't start this. I'm going to bring you information from the FBI. I'm just going to play everything I got.
Manhunt for Brian Laundrie, the only person of interest in the death of Gabby Petito, now may have North Carolina ties.
Actually, we've had a conversation with the FBI this morning.
Today, the Avery and Watauga County Sheriff's Offices told Channel 9 that they are monitoring possible sightings of Brian Laundrie in the high country.
Let's get you updated on the search. It's been more than 2 weeks since Laundrie's parents say they last saw him in Northport, Florida. Last week, an autopsy revealed Gabby Petito's body was indeed found in Grand Teton National Park, her death being investigated as a homicide. Today, the sheriffs in Avery and Watauga counties told us that they've gotten more than half a dozen tips about Laundrie over the past 48 hours. Our Dave Faraday is live tonight and spoke with the Watauga County Sheriff about the tips that are coming in. What are they hearing, Dave?
Well, Scott, he told me that they actually had to do a traffic stop after getting a tip near Boone. He, along with the sheriff here in Avery County, say that one area of focus has been the Appalachian Trail. We hiked along the Appalachian Trail today and within minutes found plenty of places to hide in the North Carolina mountains. This couple just got done doing a 20-mile hike and say it wouldn't be hard for Brian Laundrie to elude authorities here.
You know, it is a rugged trail, but it's easily accessible, and you get back in there and you can pretty much hide just about anywhere. So if someone wanted to hide in this area, they might be able to.
At the Watauga County Sheriff's Office, they have received a half dozen tips over the last 48 hours. The Sheriff's Office's Threat Assessment Social Media Detective is monitoring postings online while the sheriff stays in close contact with federal authorities.
Actually, we've had a conversation with the FBI this morning, and what you just said is correct. You know, if there's something legitimate, you know, we'll check it out. And if there's something more to that, then the FBI will be contacted, but not on every call.
On the campus of Appalachian State University, many of the students we spoke with are aware of the case and the nationwide search for Brian Laundrie after his girlfriend, Gabby Petito, was discovered dead in the Grand Teton National Park earlier this month.
Do you think he could blend in, or do you think there's no?
He could if people didn't know what he looked like, but for the people that do, they could probably spot him now.
Just off the Appalachian Trail at Mountain Harbor Bed and Breakfast, thousands of hikers stop here every year. Many sleep in the bunkhouse, where they also provide food. If Brian Laundrie stopped here, he would get caught.
Because there's an awful lot of posts on Facebook and other social media about him possibly being on the trail. So I'm sure everybody that is on the trail is looking for him.
And it's important to note that Brian Laundrie has not yet been charged in connection with Gabby's death. Scott, I checked just before news time. The reward for information leading to his arrest now tops $30,000, and possibly that's what's fueling all this on social media. Back to you.
All right, Dave, thank you. As Dave mentioned, a federal warrant has been issued for Laundrie's arrest for using another person's debit card and PIN number without permission between August 30th and September 1st. That was the date Laundrie returned home without Gabby. The Petito family also announced a new foundation named after their daughter. They say they want to keep her memory alive and help other families who have suffered similar tragedies.
All right, everybody, that is my live repost. You can go into the YouTube queue to subscribe to their channel if you need information. They are the source for this information. Live repost. That is the said information. Thank you all for joining me. Just bringing you all the said information that I can pertaining to this story. Okay. So I've brought you information pertaining to the sister by News Nation, and exclusive. That information I played this morning. Now I've brought you information from this live repost pertaining to a sighting on the Appalachian Trail. And the FBI has had contact with North Carolina officials. I don't know, pretty. I don't keep up with all that stuff, so I can't tell you, honey. I brought you a source for ABC News, and I'm going to bring you 3 more sources of information, and then I will drop my commentary. The next set of information is by WVLT TV. Thank you so much for joining me. Blount County woman claims she saw Brian Laundrie on Highway 321. Haywood County Sheriff's Office received multiple calls regarding possible Brian Laundrie sightings on the Appalachian Trail. Multiple calls came into the Haywood County Sheriff's Office regarding possible sightings of Brian Laundrie on the Appalachian Trail, according to Haywood County Chief Deputy Jeff Haynes. We have received a number of calls regarding the sighting of Laundrie over the past several days, each one being investigated thoroughly in areas of concern search, but all to no avail, said Haynes. We will continue to respond and fully investigate all calls for service related to the nationwide search for Mr. Laundrie within our jurisdiction. On September 30th, Blount County resident Amanda Smith claimed she spotted Laundrie on Highway 321 around noon. My jaw just literally dropped, I said. That's Brian. And when I looked at him, it looked like he was looking at a phone. Then he looks up at me, and I looked at him. Then he looks down at his phone, she said. Smith said that she feels almost certain that she saw, who she saw was Laundrie. And after she made eye contact with the man, Smith said the car sped away, heading towards the Smoky Mountains. Laundrie was the boyfriend of 22-year-old Gabby Petito, whose body was found at a national park in Wyoming after a cross-country trip with him. Petito was reported missing on September 11th after her parents couldn't reach her during her trip with Laundrie. Her body was discovered September 19th in a remote area of northwestern Wyoming. Channel 8 is the source. So we have a woman out of Blount County, Tennessee, which is right outside of Knoxville, Tennessee. She said she saw him on Highway 321. So what we have to ask ourselves, what was going on out there at Highway 321? What was she doing? Was she visiting, driving? What? Was he standing outside the car or was he in the car? Were they at a stoplight, convenience store? Make it make sense to the queen. Or were you all outside an area that was for camping, hiking? She didn't say. But all she says is he looked at his phone. They looked at each other. He looked back at the phone, and then he sped away in a car. So now we have another sighting of someone saying they did see Mr. Laundrie in our demographic here in the Tennessee-North Carolina border, and that he was in an automobile. So we have one guy stating that he was in a white truck. He couldn't tell if it was an F-150. Obviously, he's not good with cars. Most men know the make of a car. Come on, Queen. And I'm not trying to be nasty, but you don't know what to believe pertaining to the sightings of Brian Laundrie. Channel 8 is the source of that said information. Okay, the next source is thesun.com. Thank you. Brian Laundrie's sister, Cassie, revealed on video her brother did fly home to Florida after his police-involved fight with Gabby Petito in Utah. As the search for Gabby Petito's fiance continues, Cassie Laundrie finally broke her silence to insist she doesn't know if her parents are linked to her brother's disappearance. While speaking to News Nation Now, Brian Enton, outside her Florida home, Cassie was asked if her brother flew back after his flight with Gabby. Cassie said, yes, he flew back. He got here on the 17th of August. I don't know when he left. He was telling me where they were going next. I FaceTimed with Gabby on that trip. We're unfortunately in the dark as much as everyone else. During the bombshell interview, Brian's sister revealed she's angry. She's been thrown under the bus. It had to get there somehow, she said. It's infuriating. I didn't want to believe it. Her stepmom, Tara Petito, added of when the body was found on September 19th, my body went into shock, and then you break down, you just fall and cry. Oh, this is other information pertaining to Petito. They're mixing it all in. It's horrible, horrible, horrible. Okay, let's see. I don't like the way they wrote this because they're mixing in everybody's conversation. So this article basically has conversation from the Petito family, Cassie. So Cassie has now let us know that he did fly home. And I will bring you commentary pertaining to that and what was sent to me about dates and times. You're entitled to believe what you want about this said information. Know that this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So if you come across any woman, man that's having issues please guide them to local authorities and or help to aid them out of their said situation. And if you need a telephone number for the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-SAFE, or text START to 88788. I guess I'll write that down too for somebody who may need help. Thank you all for joining me. Hope you all are well. Woo, it's like you have to read so much information because there's always something pertaining to these people. All righty. So basically she's saying she was thrown under the bus. I'm just going to read you everything that the Sun has as far as their updates. Because they're intertwining everything. The first part of the interview with the Petito's parents will be on Dr. Phil today, October 5th. It is an exclusive interview with the Petito family. The second part of Gabby's Parents Come Together will air on October 6th. FBI agents and cops found Gabby's remains. Of course, you all know that in Grand Teton National Park on the 19th. A preliminary autopsy ruled the manner of death as a homicide. Joseph Giacolone, a criminal justice professor at the City University of New York, told Insider, if she strangled, the evidence is going to be limited in the respect that you're not going to have blood everywhere and, you know, hair fibers and all that other stuff. Lord, I don't know why they threw that in there. The dog has gotten over 2,000 potential leads as he joined the search to find Laundrie last weekend. And at that time, they were saying that he wasn't going to share anything with the cops, but I do believe that has changed, that he has turned over said information. Let's see. And as I stated, I gave you the number for the domestic violence hotline number. Okay. Also here it says he's also slammed other sightings which have claimed to have spotted Laundrie as far away as Canada and Mexico. Brian has a very common look, Warner said. Most of the guys I know in Florida look like that. They have the receding hairline. They're thin. They have the beard and a little mustache. First of all, you can't leave the country, he continued. Amen. Thank you. After 9/11, there are big restrictions on going across the border. You have to have a verifiable ID from a government agency with a picture on it. He doesn't have that right now. He doesn't have the resources to leave the country. Warner said he believes Laundrie is in the United States somewhere, most likely the Appalachian Trail, but there's no way to track him up there at this point. This is a difficult case. He looks just too much like everybody else. He doesn't have any ID. It's a real problem. And that's the point. He's not going to have ID on him. Why would he have ID? The only way they could track him, if they actually found him, someone's going to have to verify he's that person and fingerprints. And I do not know if he has a criminal background to verify prints. Bill Warner branded Laundrie a mastermind for leaving behind his wallet, ID, driver's license, and credit cards, claiming the 23-year-old appeared well aware of law enforcement tracking techniques. Let me repeat that again. Warner says he left behind his wallet, ID, driver's license, and credit cards. So now we have to ask ourselves, if indeed these people are spotting him, how is he driving a car without a valid driver's license? Because you know you can easily be pulled over. You don't have a license. They can detain you if they chose to. Stay woke. Warner has operated his private investigation business in Sarasota, Florida, close to where the search for Laundrie is underway, for 25 years and called Gabby Petito's death the most interesting case I've ever seen. This is usually what people on the run do, he exclusively told The Sun on Thursday about Laundrie's disappearance. They just go dark, hide everything. They don't take a car. They don't take a phone. They don't take any ID, but they can't be identified. Okay, that's that information. And as I stated, Dr. Phil has talked to the parents, and the title of this is It's Infuriating. In a preview for the Dr. Phil episode, Gabby's mom, Nicole, says she and her ex-husband, Joe Petito, tried to contact Brian Laundrie's mother, Roberta, multiple times, but claimed their calls and texts went unanswered. It's infuriating, says Nicole. We didn't actually know the van was in Florida at the time we contacted her. I was just worried that I hadn't heard from Gabby. Joe says we actually thought that they were both missing at the time. As I state, if you want to tune into the interview, please tune into the Dr. Phil show in your local cable and or Wi-Fi app to get the said information. And it airs October 5th, the interview pertaining to Gabby Petito, the parents, and they are sitting down with Dr. Phil. The second installment will be on October 6th. And it also says at the end of this interview, it is the family's thoughts on the latest evidence in the case. Okay. Then there's some things in here about Gabby and the oranges. I don't want to read that because I'm not going to go into social media stuff. Then also in this article, there are tributes from the family pertaining to her and the tattoos they got. Just recapping everything that's going on right now. And then there's information about Gabby's final text. Authorities have revealed the text of the last message Petito's mother received from her phone, which reads, "Can you help Stan? I just keep getting his voicemails and missed calls." Petito's mother said Stan was meant to refer to Petito's grandfather, but since she rarely calls him by that name, she found the text odd. Her phone was turned off later that day after the text was sent. Okay. Forensic psychiatrist Dr. Zeev Everett-Cohen has said Gabby looks scared and very overwhelmed in the footage from the Moab PD body cameras. She said the imbalance between sobbing Gabby and calm Laundrie should have raised a red flag for the officers. Cohen told Fox News she was emoting so much that it was very clear that there had been an incident and there had been a problem of some kind that she was struggling with. Okay. Just trying to bring everything that's in here. And right now, it is being said that according to Brianna Fox, a former FBI agent and associate professor in the Department of Criminology at the University of South Florida, investigators are fighting against time to collect the forensic evidence needed to build a case. She told CNN, "Time is that one thing that we are constantly fighting in law enforcement. The odds of finding it get slimmer every day. So time is obviously really of the essence," she added. Another person, I would assume there was visible trauma consistent with some kind of attack, i.e. gunshot wounds, knife wounds, obvious signs of strangulation, etc. Shin added while speaking to The Sun, the official cause of death and the autopsy report will likely take weeks to release. Why hasn't a cause of death been revealed? After Gabby Petito's remains were found on the 19th in Wyoming, death was quickly ruled a homicide. Jennifer Shin, a retired San Diego Police Department crime laboratory director, spoke to The Sun about why authorities may not have revealed an official cause of death yet. The death was referred to as a homicide very quickly after her body was found. This generally indicates the cause of death was pretty apparent to those that found her. Is Brian Laundrie the only person of interest? Currently, he is the only person of interest. He has not cooperated with police when he returned to Florida without Gabby, and he went missing himself less than a week after Gabby's family reported her missing. Laundrie's family said he went hiking on the 14th and never returned. Okay. And as I state, there's information asking about how she died. This was on the 13th. The coroners in Wyoming listed her as her death as homicide. On that same day, a federal arrest warrant was issued for Mr. Laundrie, accusing him of swiping more than $1,000 of a debit card that is believed to be Gabby's sometime between August 30th and September 1st, according to the indictment. If you would like to send any donations, anything for the Gabby Petito Foundation, https:/JohnnyMacFoundation.org. They also have the 911 call from the hiker release, who said they believed that the fugitive Brian Laundrie looked disheveled on the Appalachian Trail, and that information has been released. When I get a said copy of that, I will play the audio. On the 2nd, Dennis Davis said he was making a 3-point turn on Waterville Road in Hartford, Tennessee. He spotted a man in a white pickup truck flashing his lights and waving. See, I didn't hear that. Davis, 53, described the driver as looking messed up at around 12:35 a.m. local time and recalled how the man he believes to be Laundrie admitted that he was lost and looking to see Petito. Oh, Lord, here we go. So first he said, if this is the same man from Florida, said this guy was asking questions about how to get out of there, making reference to like a back road. I don't really understand this conversation. Then he says he's going trying to get to California to find his girlfriend who he had a fight with. Now this information is saying he admitted that he was lost and looking to see Petito. So what are we saying? That Brian Laundrie has lost his mind? He's schizophrenic? What? Bipolar? He has alternate personalities? Is this man telling the truth? What is the truth? The hiker told Fox and Friends first, and I said, well, I'm not from around here. Where are you trying to go? At this point, the mystery man told Davis that he was trying to go to California and said, my girlfriend and I got into a fight, but she called me and told me that she loved me and I've got to get to California to see her. I'm dead. TheSun.com is the source. Lord have mercy. Lord. Thank you for joining me. Okay. Trying to bring you this last bit of information. I think I'm done. I'm going to read you my commentary pertaining to everything that's going on. I'm already almost at an hour. He may know where he is. That's the whole point. I'm going to give you my commentary pertaining to everything that I just read to you. All the information has been relayed with a source. If you need verification, go back to the beginning of the video and read the said sources. This is a 4-part compilation video pertaining to Desheena Kyle. Rita Turner, the aunt, feels like there was a lack of communication with the police department here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Miss Mercado, 19 years old, body has been confirmed in Florida. Cassie has been spoken to protesters and News Nation outside her home alongside her husband. And she also was given a formal interview with ABC News. And hopefully there won't be any more misunderstandings about what the hell she said in this ABC News, because I'm getting bored with all this back and forth. I don't know what all that wrangling was days ago about what she said, didn't say. But the point is, I don't see how she could have gotten confused, because anybody, you know what somebody means when you last saw somebody. It means just that. When did you last see them? When did you last hear from them? So I don't know. Anyway, Cassie talked to ABC News. She basically says if she saw him on the first with the van without Gabby, she would have turned him in. She also mentions that she wants him to turn himself in. She lets it be known on the 6th. She saw him at the park. There were no major signs that there was a formal goodbye between all the parties there. She, her husband, family, parents, whatever. So that is when she last saw and spoke with Brian Laundrie on the 6th at the DeSoto Park. She has tried calling him to voicemail. No answer, no callbacks. She said he has taken a trip to the Appalachian Trail and stayed up there for at least 5 days. He's a mediocre survivalist, but possibly could survive. Nothing would surprise her at this point. She said it was painful to watch the video between the two, them having to need space, but she cannot verify any domestic violence between the two ever, either. She also believes if the police had all the 911 calls from the recipients out there in Utah, that possibly this would have been a different situation, a different turnout. She is concerned for her brother, and she is mourning Gabby's death. The lawyer issued a statement for the family that the family does not know where he is and did not assist him to Brian Laundrie to go on the wrong, and the assumptions of this behavior is wrong. Okay. Let's see. Can't even read my own writing. Jesus. What is the truth pertaining to what was said by Miss Cassie? Is she telling the truth? It was mentioned that they showed up in the Mustang. To me, that's the bingo card. They came to see her on the 1st when he got back. So I think everything was being laid out pertaining to this family. You go see the sister on the 1st. All 3 of you pile into a 2-door car to go see the sister. She's alleging nothing has been suspicious with these visits or whatever. Then they meet back up on the 6th at the park. Mind you, she canceled that trip before the 1st. It was already a planned trip to DeSoto Park. But I believe Brian called on the road to say, I'm on my way home. So she canceled that trip for she and her husband. And then when he got here, she rebooked that cabin or however it works. However it works. I don't know. To the point I don't even care anymore. I'm just telling you the truth. So they all met up there. His sister's now telling you she didn't see anything strange or peculiar during the visit. As I said, is she telling the truth? Is the truth about the parents not knowing anything, the truth from the lawyer? The lawyer threw her under the bus by putting her into the mix as being there at the DeSoto Park. This is where I have a problem with the lawyer. You are pulling a Casey Anthony stunt, a Joe Baez stunt, a low-down ratchet stunt. You're not a good attorney because you're supposed to keep your damn mouth closed about anything pertaining to a case, your client's involvement, parents, whomever you're speaking to. Why would you involve the sister as being there on the 6th? Why would you tell that? So I know why you told that, because the queen is woke. You told that because you got tired of people talking bad about the Laundries. So you said, well, if you all going to say that they were there, y'all been snooping and got proof that they was at the park, Brian was at the park, then I want you to know that big girl was there too. Oh, Mr. Bertolino, you are not very clever. You're a dirty dog. You did that on purpose. You threw that girl under the bus because you felt like, okay, you all been snooping. You now know that all 3 of them was at the park. 3 checked in. 2 came out. Oh, by the way, did you know his sister was there too? Ting! You are something else. Well, I tell you what, since you like throwing people under the bus and giving up the 411, why don't you give us the 411 to where Brian is and stop lying and saying these people didn't aid Brian to get gone? Because the fact that she said they came in a Mustang, bells went off in my head before going live. Okay, they went to the sister's house on the 1st with all 3 piled up in that small-ass car. They're the same ones that took that damn car to that park and parked it at the reserve, and that means somebody trailed one of them out of there. Come on, Queen. You ain't dropped that boy off nowhere. If anything, you drove him close to the Tennessee border. And what's the deal with that? He's in Florida. He's in Tennessee. He's in North Carolina. He's in North Carolina. He's in North Carolina. Where's Dog getting his information? Because now we got sightings of him up champ. And we got a lot of space to hide out up here. A whole lot. He could easily go downtown and hang in a homeless camp. Dye his hair blonde. Anything. Shave his eyebrows off. Stay woke. Wear a mask. You'll never find Brian Laundrie. And that's the spoken word. He picked the perfect time to murder somebody during COVID, up and down. Every state's got different mandates. He can walk around with a mask on. He can put on a camouflage mask, a black mask, a red mask. He can go get some contact lenses. Stay woke. This was a planned, orchestrated crime to get rid of Brian Laundrie. And I do believe it could also be a planned murder of Gabby Petito. Did the parents tell her any version pertaining to Brian and Gabby? Did they tell her where he is? If they didn't tell her where he is and what was going on with he and Gabby, why not? She claims, once again, never witnessed any abuse between Gabby, and her brother. Is he a chameleon? Is that what we're saying if we believe Cassie? That he never exhibited any violent behavior with Gabby or any other person? So now we're talking about a Theodore Bundy walking around, laughing, smiling, pretending to be human, but deep down inside, he has inner rages. What do we say? Is this the first time that Mr. Brian has popped off? Has he been holding, as I said, inner rages? He's been waiting to pop off. Or something Gabby did or said triggered him, and he killed her. What is the truth? Sightings of Mr. Laundrie in Florida? No. Up here, Tennessee, Blount County, North Carolina, yes. Scary as hell. Brian, we don't want you up here. Let me make that clear. We don't want you up here. We got enough problems. Lord knows. Where is Brian Laundrie? We now have a woman from Blount County saying she saw him, but she doesn't explain the situation or how she saw him. In a car, standing up by a car. Where were they? At a store, near the mountains, near a campsite? What? Is he actually in a car? Is he actually alive? How's he driving a car without a driver's license? No insurance. Are we also now talking about other people who have aided in this disappearing act of Brian Laundrie? Because now one could say somebody else put a car in their name, bought a car. He's riding around in a car that belongs to somebody else's name. So right now, he could be in a car that's got Georgia tags on it. He won't be noticed if he stays on the back roads and out of the way. But you never know the day that you'll get pulled over by law officials. That's just the way it goes. Because there's always that, oh, that car fits the description. Ask the queen how she knows about that. Do we have clout chasers and fame whores wanting to be a part of this Laundrie fiasco? Everybody's identifying him up here in North Carolina. Do we have people wanting attention, wanting to be seen, wanting to be heard, want to be Captain Save-A-Hoes? We got people standing outside, hooping and hollering outside the house, then the Cassie's house. Now News Nation saying they interviewed her. I was confused at who she was talking to when she was outside her own house. One guy claimed to be a spokesperson for the Petitos. So I thought, well, you all going to end up dead. You keep on standing out here bothering these people. You know, this can't go on. But I think a lot of people are fame whores, just wanting attention. You know, we do have a lot of famous dead people too. Stay woke. Has the family spoken to the daughter, Cassie? What's going on with the relationship between the Laundries and this child? Because your lawyer threw her under the bus, Brian's lawyer. So are you all talking to Cassie or not? She made it clear in that interview outside her house. She wasn't supposed to come out the house and talk to anybody, but she did. I already said I would have never came out there because it's never going to end. If it's not that group, it'll be another group. When will it end? And they don't want you saying anything because they don't want you saying something about that brother that can incriminate him down the road. But he's already incriminated himself by going on the run. You're only facing fraud charges, Brian Laundrie, so why go on the run? And as I stated before, people steal every day. They don't go on the run because they stole somebody's debit card, wrote a bad check, stole a check. Why would you go on the run? You're only going to run if you have stolen millions of dollars in checks, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and $1,000s in checks. Then you go on the run. But you don't go on the run for under $2,000 fraud charge. That's why you know he's guilty of murdering Gabby Petito. The writing is on the wall. Has the family spoken with Brian Laundrie since he left? Does he have a cell phone? How's he keeping it charged? Stay woke. Modern day. Got to have a charger. Got to have a plug in the wall. Got to have a plug in a car. Stay woke. Car got to be on to get the charge through the lighter. Come on, Angie. Could Brian Laundrie be in a undisclosed location, such as a place that has running water, heat, hot water, electricity, Wi-Fi? Could weeks beforehand, they went out and found some crazy person to sign for a car, put a car in their name, an undisclosed location where he is currently sleeping and staying, and he is not on the run. He is somewhere comfortable, cushy, with a bed and a pillow, watching everybody make a fool out of themselves. Did you ever think about that? That Brian is not out nowhere. Swamp Reserve, Appalachian Trail, on his way to California. He is somewhere laid back with a refrigerator. Come on, Queen. A stove. Come on, Queen. A bed. Come on, Queen. Hot water. Come on, Queen. Cushy. Stay woke. And as I state, if he's driving a car, somebody had to register the car. Somebody's got to pay insurance on the car. Stay woke. And if he's caught in a car that belongs to somebody else, then that means you will probably be tried for charges of aiding a fugitive after the fact, fraud. And then when they ante up the charge to murder, which we know they will, you have now aided a murderer. Stay woke. How many people are involved in this disappearing act of Brian Laundrie? When is this going to end? As I said, that protest outside was despicable and disgusting. We all want justice for this child, but there's a way of doing things, and law officials should be the only people involved in questioning anybody related to the case, the Laundries, the sister, her husband, whomever, not outside people. She's better than me because I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have answered the question. I would have called the police and told them to come haul all y'all asses off my property. That's what I would have done. Okay, let's try to see what else I got. The guy makes a comment. Thanks for talking to us. We won't be back, but we will come back if we think you're involved some kind of way. We get some new information. This is why I said it won't end. Well, maybe next time you show back up, she'll blow your damn brains out. Maybe she'll stand her ground, she or her husband. Like I said, she's better than me because I wouldn't have stood out there and told you a damn thing. Because, as I said, in the real world, imagine every time somebody does something wrong, a gang of people just show up at random people's houses and start cussing and fussing and group you in as affiliated because you're related to the people or you know them. It would not work, and somebody would be dead. But that's not the way you handle business. Who are you to be asking her anything? Only the police should be asking these people questions. And as I state, what is the dynamics between Cassie and her family? Are they speaking to her, talking to her? I'm sure she feels betrayed by the lawyer. And I do believe that you aided the lawyer and you had to consent to the lawyer throwing her under the bus by putting her at the DeSoto Park on the 6th. Why would you condone that? That's your child. Oh, thank you, Pinky, so much. Yes, I did. I said Captain Sableho. Yes, I did. Thank you, Pinky, honey. But that's the point. You got one child on the run and you're going to throw your other child under the bus? Why would you do that? What's wrong? So you're just going to not have any children then. In a relationship with the grandchildren, all that. And she's uploaded content. On ABC News, you'll see a picture of Brian with his back to the camera and her son out there in the water with him. Very strange dealings with these people. Very strange. So you grandparents are willing, risking no relationship with your daughter and husband, her husband and children because of your damn son. But you know, people do revere boys more than girls. And you see that with the Summer Wells case. That is what's been alleged in that case. Boys are revered more than girls. Information is that he flew back on the 17th, the sister says. She doesn't know when he left. So why did he come back? And what did he do while he was here in Florida? I got information, as I stated to you all before, that he came back on the 17th and left on the 23rd. So what we have to ask ourselves, if he was here for 6 days, if that is the truth, what did he do and why did he come back? Some information is saying that Gabby knew and that she helped buy the flight ticket. So is that true? Because we now know that he didn't have any money. So did Gabby Petito give him money to fly back? And did he lie to her for the reasons that he needed to go back? Because see, that's something that none of you even asked. Where did the money come from for him to fly back? I never even asked how he got back. I just know Profiling Evil made a comment about checking on a ticket, and it's roughly running about $800 round trip. That's a lot of money. And now we know that this guy stole money off her card. Then that lets me know he couldn't have bought the ticket. But if you didn't have money to get home, you would have had money for a plane ticket round trip. So how did you get home? Who bought the ticket from Wyoming to Florida? And why did you fly back? And why am I now getting information that Gabby Petito allegedly funded those airline tickets? So then that means you told her some cockamamie reason why you needed to go back. So this could be the plan to get rid of Gabby Petito. Please tell me this child did not pay for her own demise. Hello, Tracy. Please tell me Miss Petito did not aid this fool to kill her. Because that's what it's sounding like when you say she paid for the flights. So that means he lied to her. I'm not going to give you money to go throw my stuff out in a storage unit. Why would I do that if I'm dating you and we're on good terms? I tell you all, stay woke. This is why I never believed any story pertaining to this story. I didn't believe the flight manifesto because it didn't make sense to me that somebody would go, fly out, leave their girlfriend in the middle of nowhere to unload the house to put in storage when they could have just stayed in Florida and ended the relationship. She have her van, her money, her life. She can go on her merry way. Make it make sense to me. Fight on the 12th. They fight on the 12th. Eyewitness say he slapped her. Police is called. We got camera footage of them talking to these two people. So 5 days later, he flies home. I'm going to say it again. 5 days later now, from the 12th, he flies home. So that means they still were interacting with each other at some point, whether they were separated for a night or not. I don't have confirmation. Just he said, she said. So if he went home on the 17th, mind you, in 5 days before that was the 12th when they had the altercation. Where were they? What were they doing? What were they talking about? What happened between the 12th and the 17th? This is why I keep trying to tell people, stay woke. What happened between the 12th and the 17th? Where was this one? Where was that one? Yes, tweet. It was a plan to end her life. Thank you, baby. It's obvious. You fight on the 12th. You're told to separate. Some kind of way you two hook back up. 5 days later, he's jumping on an airplane and stays gone 6 days. Is that love to you? That sounds like love to you. He's broke. So that means she funded that trip to aid her own death. Come on now. Pay attention. Make it make sense. Because it don't make no sense. Now it's even worse. October 5th, Dr. Phil will be talking to the Petitos. This will be a 2-day interview, the 5th and the 6th, if you want to tune in to the Dr. Phil show. But as I said, the bingo card for me is the Mustang. When they return, they decided to go see Cassie on the 1st. She states in an open interview that they showed up with him on the 1st in a Mustang. So remember, the Mustang was parked at the reserve. And you want me to believe Brian drove that car there to go into a swamp to where now weeks later he's been linked to North Carolina and the Appalachian Trail. Not that stupid. As I said, somebody trailed him to that reserve. Somebody parked the car there, and somebody followed that car to the reserve, and the other party got in the second car and went back, possibly to the laundry's house. Stay woke. The sister says she worries about him. She doesn't know what to think about the situation. And as I said, she showed a photo of her son and Mr. Laundry when she last saw him. When they went to the DeSoto Park, she stayed there for 5 hours. They had s'mores. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary on that said trip. She didn't pick up anything. It was just a regular visit to her knowledge. She said when she learned of his disappearance, she immediately called law enforcement about the camping trip. She has not hid anything from law enforcement and has been cooperating with them from day one and has been in contact with the police. She hopes that someone will come forward if they have knowledge, and if her parents are involved, she prays that they will tell the truth and they will come clean. And as you now know, The Appalachian Trail borders Tennessee, and it is 2,200 of a trail, a wooded trail. And she feels like it is unusual that her brother would stay gone this long. This is the said information by Everyday Shenanigans. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. 1 hour to get all that out. Lord have mercy, help me. Yikes. It's becoming daunting just bringing the information. So many questions and little answers. This is a part 1 live. I will be back on later to bring you more shenanigans pertaining to Summer Wells. More or less, not much pertaining to Summer, but her despicable bio donors. So stay tuned later for another live. Thank you all so much for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. I will be dropping the links. Feel free to give me your commentary. If you decide that you cannot hit the live, I will end this video as to prepare for my next live. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for the love. I pray I never end up in the situation of hearing any of this type of crazy nonsense. I don't hang around a lot of people, so I pray I don't have to ever be involved in anything felonious with them and or eyewitness to any type of crime or have knowledge thereof or after. Amen. Thank you so much. 67 viewing. Thank you. Fall on in. All right. See you guys later. Yes. Thank you all. Thank you so much. 60 viewing. Hit the link if you got an opinion pertaining to Desheena Kyle, Miya Mercado, Cassie's interview with ABC News and the protesters and News Nation's interview with her outside the house and the hunt for Brian Laundrie now being seen up here in my demographic. Hit the link. Hello, Denise. How are you? Oh, Lord, damn. I have breaking news right now. Hold on. Oh, man. Okay, I can't get a break. Thank you, honey. I brought you information pertaining to Desheena Kyle when she was missing. And, you know, now you do know that her body was found deceased. During that time when her body was found, there was another woman who was missing, I believe, a weekend before her body was found. 2 bodies were found in the same week. That body now has been identified. I will read you the said information and prayers to the family. WVLT 8 News is the source. Body found on Mount Olive Road, identified as missing woman Dolly Muncie. She is a Caucasian female. The body found on Mount Olive Road, September 28, has been identified as missing 45-year-old Dolly Muncie, according to Knox County Sheriff's officials. A body was found on September 28th on Mount Olive Road, identified as 45-year-old Dolly Muncie, according to Knox County Sheriff's Office. Muncie was reported missing on September 27th, according to the Knoxville Police Department. This is a statement from the police department. Sadly, at Knox County Sheriff, confirmed today the body of Dolly Muncie, 45, discovered in the woods of Mount Olive Road. Muncie was reported missing. 1138 Valley Drive on September 27th. KCSO is leading an investigation into Muncie's death. KPD reported her boyfriend was found dead at her home on September 27th from an apparent overdose. Though an official cause of death has not been determined, the death investigation is being conducted by the Knox County Sheriff's Major Crimes Unit. Wow, this is wait. This is very strange. So now they're telling us that the boyfriend was reported, her boyfriend was found dead at her home on the 27th. She goes missing on the 27th. He dies from an overdose. It says, though an official cause of death has not been determined, and now her body is found, damn, this is crazy, on Mount Olive Road. I'll have to do some research so I can see where Mount Olive Road is to this 1138 Valley Road. Lord have mercy, this is crazy. Hold on one second, you guys. Oh, man, this just don't stop. Very strange. Oh, man. I give up. Mount Olive. So she goes missing on the 27th, and the body's found on the 28th. Prayers to the family. I don't know what's going on with this case. It's very strange. Somebody's covering up these deaths. We have had a lot of overdoses. Hello, trucker. We've had a lot of overdoses in the past couple of years pertaining to this fentanyl, heroin, meth combination. So what's strange about the story is he's allegedly dead in her house, and then she goes missing, and she's found dead at another location. I have to do the demographics to see how far the scene of the body is in relation to her actual address. Thank you all for joining me. And thank you for the donation. I think I'm going to Google it now while I'm live. Might as well. Oh, Lordy. How far is 1138 Valley Drive to Mount Olive Road? Six minutes. 6 minutes. And that's by car. Maryville Pike says. So her address is in Knoxville Valley Drive. Let me get a picture of where this is. Thank you all for joining me. All right. So Valley Drive is a house, 4-bedroom, 2 bathrooms. This is where she lived, this house. Well, the pictures are not nice. They were doing work on the house. I don't know. Let's see. I believe this is North Knoxville. I don't know. I'm not sure. Let me see Mount Olive Road. Whew. Too much going on. Thanks for joining me. Yeah, well, I've already laid out the updates, the beginning of this video pertaining to the Petito case, to the hunt for Brian Laundrie. As I stated for those coming in, this is a 4-part compilation video pertaining to Desheena Kyle. Her aunt has given her opinion pertaining to a poor interaction with the police department when filing a report that the niece was missing, who has now been found dead. Miya Mercado has been found, located as the body down in Florida. Miss Laundrie has given, Cassie has given an interview in front of her house and to the national news, the ABC News Syndicate. And also there have been sightings of Mr. Laundrie up here near the Tennessee line. Thank you. The link is in the chat if you'd like to hit it. Ogle Avenue, Martin Mill Pike. Oh, this is South Knoxville. Okay. I now see all this was South Knoxville. I was curious. Thank you. Yes, dear. They can drop it. Yes, everybody, females, get your mammograms so you can preserve your life. There's a photo of Miss Muncie. I don't know if this is a boyfriend, a child, or who it is in the said photograph. Might be the dead man. I don't know. Lord have mercy. Too much going on. Feel free to hit the link if you like. If not, I will check out of here. If you have anything that you'd like to add pertaining to the information in the video, thank you. Oh, Lord. Well, somebody sent me information. Basically, I guess wanting you all to hear possibly Brian did kill the two girls. That's why he flew back to Florida. Some guys brought forth this information. I don't know. Some guy on Twitch. I'm not opening another account for anything. I have enough apps on my phone as it is, so I can't just keep opening stuff. I don't want to mess my phone.
Hi, Queen. How are you?
I'm fine. 12 years for me, but metastasized about to kidney last year. Yes. Well, my mother passed away with stage 4 breast cancer, and it metastasized, and it spread to her femur. It was a very ugly, ugly scene of the left breast. So if you feel anything, any lump on your armpit, your breast area, please go get yourself checked out. Thank you. How are you doing, Miss Kinson?
I'm good. And yourself?
Okay. And also, this commentary that somebody brought to me said she has a friend in Utah. Perhaps that's why she was comfortable staying behind. If that is true, I don't know what's true. That's the whole thing people need to understand. We don't know what's true because we don't know these people. We don't know why anything happened out there. I don't know the real reason he flew back. I don't know if he flew back because he killed these girls. I don't know. But somebody wanted me to relay this to the public. Perhaps that's why he flew back to Florida. But then that makes no sense to fly back, go all the way there, and then come back. So you weren't too concerned about being a suspect if that's true. And allegedly she has a friend in Utah. Well, did she see her friend? Did she visit her friend? Did she call her friend? Did she text her friend? Did she tell her friend what was going on? If that's the case, then she could have went and met her friend and dumped Brian Laundrie. Because see, the point of the story is Gabby Petito cared for Brian Laundrie. No matter how you look at it, the result is still the same. She cared for him and she stayed with him. Yeah. She was meant to meet her friend in Yosemite shortly after the body cam incident. Well, then what would be the holdup for her meeting her friend? If I call you and ask you, can you come? You could either say yes or no. But where are you all getting all this information? That's what I don't understand. It's amazing to me. I don't understand none of this stuff. What do you have to say, Kinsley? Because I'm drowning up here.
I think, honestly, I think he had planned on killing her.
Okay.
I think he flew home with the intentions of, getting rid of her stuff like he did.
Okay.
He flew back, killed her.
Okay. So he didn't fly. So he didn't fly back because, let's just say, like I tried to tell everybody, look at the dates. The 12th is the fight. The 17th allegedly is when he left. That's 5 whole days of still dealing with her at some point. You want me to believe he didn't see her in 5 days? He didn't see her none in 5 days after the incident. See where I'm going?
Yeah, I think he was still, mad as hell.
Okay, but do you think they saw each other after the 12th? Let's go there. From the 12th to the 17th.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's no way that they were separated.
Okay.
He didn't have any money to fund himself.
Right. See, that's why I tell people to pay attention to everything. Thank you, sweetheart.
My question this morning, after kind of listening to some news coverage, is I know out here where I am, because of the heat, we have like no burn days. So does Florida have like no burn days? And that my question is, when Cassie said that they went and they did s'mores, I know Florida is hot as hell. So do they have no burn days? I mean, I know that I don't go roasting marshmallows in the middle of the summer, even when we're camping up north. Where I'm located, where it's nice and cool, we still don't do marshmallows because it's, you know what I mean? It's cooler, but it's not cool. That I found kind of odd. I think that possibly they drove the Mustang to her house to get some of his DNA in there.
Wait a minute, baby. I just stepped away. What did you find odd?
Oh, I find it hard to believe that they were maybe burning s'mores in the middle of the summer camping. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird and I think that's odd.
It's warm and probably sticky down there where they were.
Yeah. That was my question. Like, does Florida have any no burn days? I think that they drove the Mustang to her house for that visit to have some contact tracing for his DNA. So it'll show that he was actually in that car or that he actually drove the vehicle.
Okay.
I also kind of think that when the FBI went and they finally searched that camper, I'm thinking that they're looking for a way to nail the parents by saying, hey, we contact traced her DNA, whether it's fibers from her clothes, her hair, whatever the case may be, and that's going to be the smoking gun, maybe to get them in cuffs.
Okay.
But other than that, I think it's kind of getting out of hand. I can see why they're wanting to protest in front of her house, and the general public wants, answers. However, we're not entitled to answers. My husband is a U.S. Marshal, and I want answers every day, and I don't get any answers ever. So we're not going to get them. And I think, of course those kids are scared and, they don't know what the heck is going on out there. I mean, a day or so, but it's time to just maybe leave it all alone with them, with, her parents, or sorry, his parents, his sister. Nothing's coming of it. They're not going to speak. They don't care to speak. They don't care, period. They didn't even have the audacity to return a text to her father when he said, hey, I'm contacting the police. Nothing. So they're not going to talk.
Okay. So where do you think he is?
In the beginning, I thought, okay, maybe he's out of the country. He's in a country that doesn't extradite. Now I'm starting to think he's closer than we think, than we think he is. I think he's very near. He's probably blending in. If he's not with a family member or in another property that they own, or maybe a boat that they own, but I do believe he's pretty close. He could not have gotten far. I mean, yeah, he had a week to 10 days head start, but if he doesn't have any money, or they only gave him so much money, how long is that money really going to last?
Okay.
But I also am kind of getting sick of all of it. There's no new updates. I feel that
And you don't want to make people out to be liars, but this is where, like the one law official said, we'll listen to what people have to say, but we're not getting ready to go report every call to the FBI here in North Carolina pertaining to a sighting of Brian Laundrie.
Well, yeah, because the bald head is a common thing. The bald head, goatee or mustache, that is a common thing for, a lot of men these days, especially the younger generation. That's their look. I think obviously the parents know more than they're telling us. I really do think that they're involved. They definitely helped him get away.
Okay.
And I think they knew from the jump that he killed her.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. After all you've heard from Cassie, if you did watch the interview with the people outside the house and the ABC, and you listened to the ABC News that I played you?
Yes.
What is your take on her now? Or what was your take on her before and now?
I don't necessarily believe everything she said.
Okay.
I mean, how many different ways can a reporter say, hey, when's the last time you saw him?
Right. And it means just what it means. When's the last time that you see him? So what you do was you would say, I last saw them on the 6th. And then if I was curious that you saw him before then, I'd ask you that. I'd say, when he got back on the 1st, allegedly, did you see him on the 1st? Then I'd wait for you to answer.
I think she wants to talk. I think she knows more, obviously, than she's leading on.
She's been thrown under the bus for one.
Right. And I think it's really strange how her parents just left her, they hung her out to dry. If you lawyered up and your son's lawyered up, why wouldn't you want legal protection for your daughter?
Yeah. So that's what I think is sad, is that the lawyer would speak, throwing her under the bus and say, yeah, well, you were there too. That was so petty. Which I'm sure people want to know that too. I'm sure people did want to know that. So they'll know who all was around him before he left. But my thing is, you could have done a press conference to say, we all gathered to talk to him. We all gathered as a family on this day. So there was nothing suspicious about us gathering. We reported him missing on this day. If you're going to, play the rules, the lie, whatever, you just give a press conference, or you give a statement to the news or whomever to say, hey, we all worked together on the 6th, the 5th, the 4th, whatever the damn day was. And you would say it casually as if it was no big deal.
Yeah, that's why I think she knows more than, obviously more than she's wanting to speak of. I do think it's not going to be long before she finally breaks and says, hey, this is what I think happened.
Yeah.
To me, if I would have went to, a gathering with my family and my sister is not there, I would have definitely said to my brother-in-law, hey, where's Ashley? And if he, you don't just show up in somebody's car and your significant other not be there. How do they not speak of her? That I do not believe, especially when it comes to kids. My kids, they're older, but the first thing they say is, if I say I went to see my sister today or whatever, they'll say, oh, was, Celeste there, their cousin, or was grandma there? It's just general conversation. That's what kids do. They ask, where is my Aunt Gabby? That to me, I don't buy that. I don't buy it at all.
So you think they
There's
told
no
her
way.
something? Do you think they told her
think
something?
they had to have. They had to have. Maybe not everything, but I think they told her something, and maybe just enough to spook her. Or possibly the mother, before they got there, maybe the mother said, hey, do not ask your brother about Gabby. They're having problems. Period. I mean, there's times that my mother's been like, hey, do not ask Ashley about, X, Y, and Z. Let her tell you on her own. And, I haven't asked, and I let my sister tell me on her own. But I think it's one of those two things. A, mom told the daughter, don't ask, or B, she knows something.
Yeah. Hold on. Keep talking, I can hear you.
But I think it's coming. Something's coming with the parents sooner than later, I think. I really do. I think they're building their case, maybe enough just to get the parents in a set of cuffs. Get them in an interrogating room. I mean, I don't know how much they're going to say since they're lawyered up, but it's coming. I'm hoping they find him soon. It's dragging on. I mean, I personally feel if they wanted him, they could have had him by now. With all the resources that the feds have, local police department, they got stuff that, we don't even know about or we've never heard of. Someone knows where he is somewhere. He's been seen somewhere. He's been seen today.
Okay.
He ain't dead. He's a coward.
Well, where is he?
I think he's close. He's North Carolina, possibly Tennessee. He's right around there. I don't think he's headed here to the West Coast. I don't think he's headed to California, unless he has a lot of ties there.
Okay.
I don't see him that way. I see him stuck over there. I see him wanting to stay close enough to home, close enough to his parents.
Okay.
I mean, how much money could they have possibly given him? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you go to the bank.
Somebody in the chat, hold on one second. Somebody in the chat saying the lawyer just released a statement changing the day he went missing. Well, what is today then?
Oh, I have no idea. What did they report him missing on the 14th or 15th?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's a circus. I do know, though.
That's what's expected. You're throwing the girl under the bus, the sister. Now you're going to change the date of when he went missing.
He's unprofessional. I mean, how many different reporters is he texting different things? Is he trying to play like a game of cat and mouse with them and try to...
But no, listen. This has got to come from the parents, sweetheart. The parents are the ones who hired the lawyer.
Oh, yeah.
So it's the lawyer. So it's the parents talking to the lawyer.
Oh, don't mind my dog. Sorry. Yeah, those parents are...
The parents are changing everything.
The parents are a little lost. I mean, if their son was truly missing, regardless if he killed somebody or not, would you not be in the public eye begging and pleading for your son or daughter to make themselves known, just so that you know that they're okay, that they're alive if he was truly missing? Please come home. We need you. We need to know that you're okay. And then take it from there and, walk his happy self into the, police station. They know he's alive because they're not worried. They're very nonchalant.
Look what happens to come up in my queue of my Google. A article about the Appalachian Trail. This was uploaded 6 days ago. How interesting. The Appalachian Trail, or AT as it's commonly referred to, is the world's longest hikers-only footpath, stretching approximately 2,200 miles from Springer Mountain to northern Georgia to the summit of Mount Katahdin in Maine. The AT crosses 14 states along the eastern seaboard, mostly in the Appalachian Mountains. See, I didn't know that. I didn't know it went as far as Maine. That's very interesting.
I know nothing about that Appalachian
14
Trail.
states along the eastern seaboard. Oh, Lord, come on. I don't know, my phone. This Google stuff is starting to really aggravate me.
Ever since yesterday, I've noticed that nothing has been
No, the phone, I
working.
can't even hold an article. Everything keeps jumping off. Okay, so it says 2,200 miles from Springer Mountain in northern Georgia to the summit of Mount Katahdin in Maine. The AT crosses 14 states along the eastern seaboard, mostly in the Appalachian Mountains. Because it is a hikers-only footpath, you won't see bikers or horses on this trail, just people in hiking boots walking any distance from a few miles in a single day to the mammoth undertaking the entire trail in one go, known today as through hike. The AT is one of the 3 long-distance trails in the U.S., along with the Pacific Crest Trail on the West Coast and the Continental Divide Trail in the Rockies. Together, 3 are known as the Triple Crown of hiking. There are other shorter such trails dotted around the country, 2 including the Long Trail in Vermont and the Colorado Trail, which remains within state lines. So it's got the Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Maine. Interesting, very interesting. So he could basically just cross from state to state, 14 states.
But how long can he really stay alive out there?
Well, and that's the question. That is the question. How long? Thank you, Brittany. Thank you so much for the super chat. Hagen, I see that the date's been changed. Well, somebody can go Google it. Tell me what they said.
Somebody tell us.
Adventure is the source for this Appalachian Trail information. If you want to know the history of the Appalachian Trail, it basically says it draws in millions of people from the city and into nature each year. It's the longest hikers-only footpath in the world. Interesting. So it's a footpath, 2,200 miles.
No, thank you.
Yeah, me too. That's okay.
I'm on my feet all day. You ain't gonna find me hiking anywhere.
I'm getting ready to hike right over here to this kitchen. How about that? Here we go.
Today I'm off. I have to hike up to the kitchen stairs. I wanted to die.
No way, Jose. I know. Strange stuff.
They're all weird. It's just weird. It's out of control. It's a mess. For parents not to be pleading for their child is just bizarre.
Yeah.
Oh, like I was going to say, people you have been asking, how much money could the parents have possibly given him, or how they would like, we'd all like to see their bank statements. But it's hard to go into the bank and be like, can I have, $10,000? I just went to purchase my son a card 2 weeks ago, and I went in to get money, and they made me order it. They made me come back in 24 hours to make sure they had funds to hand over to me in cash. So I don't know. I don't know how much they could have given him. 5,000 maybe? Unless, they did, give him a couple grand and, went back. But I know there's a limit. Due to the money laundering, issue.
You drop the link for me?
Can I drop it from in here?
Well, just drop it, please, ma'am. Okay. All right, you puppies. I'm back. Oh, mercy. I got too much going on. Hit the link if you all want to give your commentary. 1 hour, 45 minutes of this. So now some people in the chat saying the date has been changed by the parents. Well, so now it's a full-blown circus act. Full-blown. Why change the date? Because you already know that some other information is about to be released of you aiding your son to go on the run. Because you know nothing is secret in this world. Everything is recorded on a blueprint by phone, GPS from your car, your phone, going in stores to purchase items. There's cameras everywhere. Toll booths, this and that. You know something's about to come out. That's the reason why you're changing the date now. Because obviously somebody's talking. Somebody's probably talking or about to talk. It's ridiculous. Left for a hike on the 13th, not Tuesday the 14th, like parents originally said. The laundries were basically the date Brian left on their collection of events. Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. Okay. No. No P.O. boxes canceling. But thank you. Thank you so kindly, dear. Hit the link if you want to give your opinion pertaining to this nonsense. Sisters giving her statements to people outside her house, and now ABC News. The Petitos have talked to Dr. Phil, airing the 5th and the 6th. The hunt for Brian Laundrie continues. He's now being seen here, has been seen up in here near the Tennessee and North Carolina region of the Appalachian Trail, allegedly. What did they tell the kids? I'm sure they were asking about Gabby and looking forward to seeing her, especially after the postcards. They probably were used to seeing them together. Yes. Well, that's the whole point. We don't know what's been said to anybody. We got a lawyer throwing Cassie under the bus. So what is the dynamic between Cassie and her parents? What is the dynamic between Cassie and her family now? Are they talking to her now? Are they explaining things now? Have they been truthful with her now? Will this divide them now? See, this is what happens when you have these types of crimes. People become divided. People side with people. People take sides. People start instigating. People start testifying, or as we say in the street, test-a-lying. It will happen. Thank you for joining me. Well, that's the set information. So I don't have but a few people in the chat right now, and I'm going to go ahead and check out of here. But if you need to recap any information I brought to you, you can go back to the beginning of this live to get the set information pertaining to Desheena Kyle. Rita Turner, the aunt, has given information that there was a rocky relationship between she and the family and the police department. But the police department says they gave all they could. They were preserving information, the integrity of the investigation. Miss Mercado down here, down in Florida, body has been identified. Suspect killed himself days later after she went missing. And it appears that her body was discovered where he actually lived. In that demographic. Cassie Laundrie has given testimony to ABC News and in front of her house. And as I stated, that I didn't feel like she should have said anything, because in the end, people are going to decipher information as they see fit. Some will agree that she's telling the truth, some won't. She'll never be able to satisfy everybody. That's why it doesn't matter about speaking to anyone, because logically, she'll be speaking to people every day. Everywhere she goes, somebody recognizes her now. They're going to feel the need to just go up to her and start asking her questions. And who are they to ask? And who is she to give them the information? Because as I state, in the end, nothing she says will be enough for some people. Thank you all so much for joining me. This is Domestic Awareness Month. If you see something, say something. If you're able to help someone, please do. Give them the contact number for the hotline, for the domestic abuse hotline. 1-800-799-SAFE. And you can text to START 88788. And prayers for the Muncie family. Caucasian lady has just been identified as a decedent on the 28th of September. She went missing on the 27th. Information states that a boyfriend was found dead in her home of alleged overdose, but that has not been confirmed. So I'm wondering why they're even saying that if they haven't even confirmed his death. She went missing thereafter in another location 6 minutes from her said home by Google search. So what happened to her? Did she run out the house because she was afraid she might be implicated in his death? And she went somewhere and passed out, inebriated. What happened? Or is this foul play? That's the set information. Thank you all for joining me. I will be back on later with the live pertaining to the buffoonery and Don foolery of Hollerville. There's new information that's come out that an interview was done with Mr. Don Wells by the behavior panel, and I will bring you said commentary pertaining to that. Thank you all for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Thank you, Mom, so much, and all of those viewing. And thank you for helping the Queen amass new subscribers. I've not been back in to check to see where I am as far as, let's see, my total count, but I'll check before I leave. Give me a reason to celebrate. Hold on 1 second. Thank you all for joining me. Love you too, Denise. Surprised you didn't come up here. Well, I'm still under 9,000. I'm roughly under 9,000 subscribers. So we'll see who joins me by the time I get off. Thank you, Shavonda, for the donation. Thank you all so much for the donations. Thank you all. God bless all of you. If you decide you'd like to donate to the channel and the dream of Everyday Shenanigans, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. All super chats are welcome during the live. God bless all of you. Join me later on this evening for a chat pertaining to Don Wells and commentary given to the behavioral path, whomever they are. I don't know, panel, excuse me, what you think about the said information. I try not to indulge in that type of buffoonery because I do not believe anything he has to say. So therefore, I don't really need to watch anything. Okay, no adjectives. I don't need to watch anything that he's talking about, quite frankly. Because if I don't believe it, then what's the point of watching? That's my commentary pertaining to Mr. Wells and Candace Bly Wells. But we will chop it up this evening. Hopefully we'll have more viewers. Thank you all for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans.